for now, that is. Oh man, not the coach name. Oh crap! This is that coach user 27918273645 that we screamed out in. I can't remember which tournament. Yeah, it was a constant battle to try to kind of say that name out loud while casting.
Yeah,
It was fun. Did you do it?
not yet. I will do it right now. So Coach Blank, banning out. Actually, no, absolutely zero without a coach and showing a lot of prowess in game number one. Banning out the Freya and the Chip definitely done their homework against Everlasting Love. It's more of a respect ban over to Fake QT. On the other hand, Coach User 27918273645 banning out the Loi, Kalea, and the Matilda and homage or a lot of respect over to how Bougie likes to play the Loi around. Absolute Zero banning out the Fanny to solidify their last ban in the first phase. First pick might be going over to Absolute Zero. No, Everlasting Love.
Hmm.
So this would be quite open. Picking up the Boxia or even Lucas for themselves would be pretty good.
So Lucas on their side, Kalia is unfortunately banned, so goodbye Vendetta, no more Kalia for you. Loi has also been banned, but Jusin is still out there. Kimmy is also still out there.
Kimberly, Kimchi.
Kimberlin, Kim Kim,
We won't go that far. We won't go that far again.
Kim Chan.
Kim Chan. Selena, actually, first pick
Okay,
from Everlasting Love. I'm
okay.
not too fond of this because you need someone to actually deal with the Lucas. I know that they have something up their sleeves, but usually when you deal with the Lucas, you need some form of like true damage or some form of like damage over time kind of situation, like a carry. The Granger is getting picked up right here. Not too fond of the burst damage that Granger provides against the Lucas in the late game. Yes, it does provide some form of like utility and just a lot of chip damage, especially onto the Lucas. But man, Absolute Zero, wasting no time at all, opened up that Phobius for themselves for the easy pickings. They will snap pick that up. With the Lucas and Phobius, a lot of tanky, beefy boys right from the get-go from Absolute Zero. They might be able to pick up the Kimmy or the Jusin right here at this pick.
I'm kind of surprised that Kimmy was not kind of snap picked from Everlasting Love, but instead decided to go for the Selena instead. So we'll see eventually how that is gonna work out. Because for now, Everlasting Love, they've got the mid lane as well as the gold lane. There's already been locked in. Juice in for the side of AZ. So quite a bit of control, very AOE style, especially since they have a Phobius into the mix. While Everlasting Love is a lot more single target. So if they do want, oh wow, even
No,
Fredrin.
no. Not. I don't love the Fredrin pick because Absolute Zero already picked up the Chusin, which is known
The
for sort of like a
counter of
not really a
Fredrin.
counter, but like a disruptor.
Oh,
Uh,
I personally count it as a counter.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you have a claw,
Yeah.
and once you have that stacks, Fredrin is just shifted aside and like, yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna deal with you today.
That's the problem about Fredrin into a Josin. Because
Yeah.
technically speaking, I will call this, some people like soft counter, hard counter. Soft counter is just, it just makes things annoying to play, while hard counters is just makes the hero very useless in some
Yep.
sense. So in this case, as a Fredrin in the jungle, I call this a hard counter because Fredrin only has one mobility skill. And this
Yes.
mobility skill doesn't really have very long, very short cooldown. It will be short if you actually land your energy eruption.
Yes.
That is provided you actually can land the energy eruption.
Yep.
Because if you can't get close enough to land the energy eruption, then you're just gonna be picked up by the claw machine, throw it on one side, and oh, look,
Yeah. Forgotten about for a while.
for a while, yes, Fredrin is like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't do anything anymore.
Yeah. Tough pick for Coach User 27918273645. But on the other side, though, Absolute Zero banning out the roams. No more boxes, no more Hylos. Won't be able to see the light of day. On the other hand, Everlasting Love actually banning out the 1-1 and the Moskov, targeting on to Salus and how he wants to play it around. You want to give Fake QT, not Fake QT, Akashi an easier time, but man,
Huh?
the Alice gets picked up. So a lot of wildcard picks, very, very pockety from the side of User 27918273645.
I'm having a little bit of a trouble kind of wrapping my brains around this because that is a Phobius that's going up against an Alice.
Might be Alice in the jungle and then Fredrin in the EXP lane.
That will make things even worse, isn't it?
You have faster farm, especially if you're Alice. Very good pick on the carry because
Mm,
you're dealing with like huge amounts of tanks.
yeah,
So I don't think Absolute Zero has a lot to worry about. I feel like they
not at
do have
all.
a lot of counters to what Everlasting Love is picking up.
Do they? Okay, now it boils down to the roam. Phoveus is a very comical hero, so technically speaking, oh wow,
The Branco is picked up.
the Branco. Okay, so to counteract against that comical issue that Phoveus has, why not just pull people in? So it's kind of like same concept, right? You just kind of have a Cho or a Kaja with a little bit more skill shot basis from the side of Franco just to hook people in. But most importantly, I think that it has a very good suppression spell. That's
Yes.
the main thing that we will want to see from a Franco.
Yeah, I think the Bloody Hunt definitely is used to just protect Vendetta, not Vendetta, Salus from any harm whatsoever,
Hmm.
especially in the later stage of the game. But the Mincetar are actually getting picked up right here. Very good call to disrupt Jusin from the Crimson Beacon, to disrupt Lucas from landing his
Carry as
first
well.
skill. Carry doesn't have the dash anymore. Phoveus would be able to mitigate Mincetar no problem at all. But I'm just really interested to see whether the Virgin or the Alice will be going into the jungle because it kind of looks like it's a very dissynergistic kind of pick up from Everlasting Love. But I do like Absolute Zero's draft a lot better. They have a goal in mind. They have an objective in mind, and it's all pick offs. They have a lot of options in how they want to play the objectives as well in the Turtle and the Lord Pit. So not to worry about Absolute Zero's draft, but Everlasting Love. I think they are
I
cooking something, so I'll just let them cook.
Okay, so my theory is that they would want
Until
Minsita
the
to deal
enemy
damage,
reaches the
right?
Yeah.
So
battlefield.
Minsita,
Smash them.
EXP, Alice, mid, Selena, Rome, Fredrin jungle.
Yeah.
Welcome
That
to
is
Mobile
very
Legends.
likely what I would assume is gonna be the case, right? So if this is actually gonna be the case, Alice in mid lane, you don't really have very good wave clear,
Yep.
especially if you kind of mix it up together with a Selena. It still doesn't do all that much. And of course, we also know that Alice is a little bit more of a greedy hero. It takes
Mm.
some time before the Alice realistically be able to do anything. Most of the mages does get their power spike at level 2, but Alice doesn't.
Mm.
She really needs her flowing blood in order to realistically be able to do anything, to survive and to do damage. So in the early stages, I think that they have already lost out in the middle lane. That means that most of the power from the side of Absolute Zero will be flowing over to the gold lane or to the EXP. In this case, it is a Phoveus in the EXP. So there could be a chance that because they know that they're going putting a Phoveus against a Minseta, they might not even touch the EXP all that much. They will be around the
Mm.
river for most of the periods of the time, just trying to force out the Selena, force Selena away. No abyssal arrows for you. They want to protect their own while being very aggressive in the goal lane.
So it does look like Mincetar
Ultimate
EXP,
deployed.
Selena in the roam, and then Icy Frost with the Alice in the mid side. But actually, it's kinda, I wouldn't say weird, but it's kinda new to what
Very
we're
new,
seeing.
yeah. To the point that even I don't really have any much of an idea what exactly they might want to do. I see Frost started things out by going into the brushes, not really touched all that much. On the other hand, Kyushu is the one that's really touched by Muji at this point in time. It's just really just pushing her away, making sure that the mid lane is going to be cleared out super fast. Now, of course, we are looking at a Granger versus a carry, so it makes sense for Absolute Zero to want to put a little bit more suppression, or rather some help up to the top lane to make sure that carry's gonna do a good job, because Granger's kind of tough to deal with.
Yeah. This is getting really interesting because now Hook lands on the fake cutie, denying him and delaying his farm just a little bit more. Icy Frost taking a lot of damage. Here comes Nan from the flank, able to get that claw in. First blood goes over to Bougie. Saw Nan hitting the minion instead, so a little bit of auto attack misengaged, but still they get the first blood.
Yep, very aggressive play from Icy Frost by using the teleportation on the Blood Oath to engage in this case. Most of the time you will want to kind of walk in maybe and just kind of use the Blood Oath to run away
Ooh.
instead.
Nice little Abyssal Arrow flicker out of the way.
Oh!
That is going to be the trap,
Bye!
taking Bougie's life away.
Now, in the meantime, down in the bottom lane, Willie does put on quite a good show going up against Vendetta. Of course, when it comes down to Phobius, it takes up to level 4 before the Phobius eventually be able to win in his lanes and then just kind of put himself in a tough spot. Phobius doesn't have a lot. I don't think he has any form of dashes. Technically, the passive is a dash, but that's not going to be stopped by the fall.
It's a 2v2 down the bottom side. Nan already unleashing the beast. Get a King's Calling as well. Won't be able to take Willie down.
Oh, there we go!
Play and a Demonic Force from Vendetta to seal the deal. You get an Abyssal Arrow. It's a 1v1 from Vendetta and Kyushu. Won't be able to survive this one. For him, that's a double kill for Vendetta on the bottom side of the map. The Turtle will be started up. Fake Cutie in a spot of bother right there. Turtle at a 5th will be taken away by Nan. Down goes Fake Cutie. Down goes Icy Frost. That's a triple for Vendetta. An absolutely insane start for Absolute Zero.
Oh man, and a complete outplay against Kyushu, and even picked up the kill on the Willie. And of course, when it comes down to the fight in the Turtle side as well, that is an amazing start for Vendetta. 3 kills already. That's the level 4 power spike that we are looking for. In the meantime, now we already have quite a lot of levels that is just flowed over to Absolute Zero, while Everlasting Love mid lane is currently having a really tough spot getting any form of levels. Just hit level 4.
Yeah. Bougie is effectively 2 levels ahead of Icy Frost, just delaying a lot of the minion waves coming in from Everlasting Love. On the mid side, though, Icy Frost goes down by the hands of Nan. Fake Cutie won't be able to tank this too much, though. Get a claw, push back. Nan will pick that one up as well. Kyushu in a spot of bother. Won't be able to escape with the burst coming in from Nan. Triple kill over to him. The hook by Rapidut takes in Akashi. Will be collapsed on by 3.
Wow.
That's a maniac for Nan right off the bat. Couldn't ask for a better start.
One after another, bit by bit. So what Absolute Zero has been doing thus far is generally just winning in the micro plays. They're not necessarily winning in macro all that much because they're just, I think that this is just very standard rotations. It's not much about, okay, we gotta do this together as a team, we gotta move here, we gotta move there, we gotta move according to how Everlasting Love is playing. Because now Everlasting Love, they're actually lacking in a lot of aspects and they just can't cover themselves. Most importantly, the middle lane is an outright loss. That means that the River Lines is just complete dominance from the side of Absolute Zero, which is why Bougie constantly is able to set up some of these fights in order to make things a lot easier for Rapidut to follow up.
Yeah, nice little hook onto Icy Frost. That's the Bloody Hunt on the way. This Abyssal Arrow won't be able to save him. And he goes down 0-4-0 for this Alice right from the get-go. No minion waves, no way to run, no way to hide. Icy Frost is just feeding Absolute Zero to infinity and beyond. The Turtle won't be attempted by Everlasting Love.
There's no way they're gonna be fighting for this. Fate Cutie is at level 8 while Nan is at level 9. I do gotta have to give respects over to Fate Cutie though. Despite the situation of this game, he's still kind of catching up in terms of level, right? Level 8 is not too bad for a jungler, especially in this 10-1 kind of scoreline. 5,000 gold deficit, by the way. It is a massive lead in just 5 minutes of the game. And of course, let's of course not forget that with the fact that the Riverline is just completely dominated by Absolute Zero, the rest of the members in the side lanes is just gonna be absolutely overwhelmed.
Yeah. Speaking of which, on the top side, Absolute Zero actually taking out Kyushu and Akashi. They're going for more though. Icy Frost won't be able to survive. Sailor's nice rotation. Bloody Hunt locks Fake Cutie in place, locking down his fate. Into the graveyard he goes. And Absolute Zero, absolute dominance in this game.
They're definitely going to be creating a even better and stronger lead with the T1 turret up in the top lane that has already been destroyed. This is what we missed just now. A very aggressive start and an aggressive punch coming in from Nun, followed by the kill feed bomb to really seal the deal onto Kyushu. Akashi being one of those that has fallen as well. It is yet another four-man wipeout in the favor of Absolute Zero, and this is essentially the 3rd time that Everlasting Love have lost more than half.
Here comes the gank onto Kyushu, able to just dash away, but the Crimson Beacon will be able to lock him in place, slowing him down, won't be able to dash out of this one. Bougie will take that kill for himself. A little bit of an homage and a response to that early game 1 kill that he got. Next in play will be the T1. That's a pullback onto the Minotaur. The King's Calling won't do too much underneath the turret. Akashi building the Sky Piercer, but I don't think that would help too much because the damage is coming through really slowly but surely. The Demonic Force will be pouncing up and down. Mega kill for Vendetta. Down goes Fake Cutie from the back line. Here comes Zon with Unleashing the Beast. Going in for Akashi. Oh! Nice little snipe all the way from mid lane into enemy territory. And this looks like it's over, Abstract.
Clipped just by the edge, and is it over? Yes, unfortunately, because I'm not going to lie to anyone at all, right? This is a very dominant performance from the side of Absolute Zero. 7 minutes into this game, and we are already looking at a 17 kill difference, almost to 10,000 gold lead. In fact, this is probably the largest lead by timing we have ever seen in MPL SG before. Because most of the time, even when it comes down to brawly meta, brawly regions, what they're looking out for is 1,000 gold for every 1,000 gold advantage for every minute that passes.
On the bottom side, Akashi ganked. Just attacked on by 3 members of Absolute Zero. It's just nowhere is safe. Even your own turret, Bougie, leading the charge onto the purple buff, forcing Retribution down, but they don't see Vendetta from the back line. Nice hook onto the cutie to buy them some time as well. Will get disintegrated, vaporized, vanished into thin air. Vendetta able to get out of the turret's range, but here comes Nam with Unleashing the Beast. Won't be able to dash out onto the King's Calling, but the burst will boom him down.
Oh, that is just painful. We're currently locking in with a 21, sorry, not 21. This is about 11,000 gold lead in favor for Absolute Zero. With the Lord that's been slain by Absolute Zero, this is the Lord advantage. It's just gonna give them even more. I think that by 10 minutes of the game, they might have like, what, 15,000 gold lead.
Well, we'll see. It does look like Absolute Zero is just walking and running this one over. Selena pick and the Alice pick definitely not working out. Icy Frost with 0-7 and 1. As much as I understand where the concept is coming from, you want to be able to buy that distance. That pullback actually won out by Willie, getting pulled back underneath the turret, using the flicker to get out to safety. 2-0 and 13 for this. Franco looking hella strong in this early game. Now the Lord marching up the top side. What is the play for Everlasting Love? Do they have that high ground?
Absolutely not, man. They do not have anyone that can play for the high grounds. They don't have the range. The only range that we're looking out for is Akashi, which is currently 0-1.
Oh, nice little pull. Fake Cutie seals his fate. Down into the graveyard they go. The Claw pulls through back. The 3D Light Wheels will take down 1 as well. 3 members left to go for Everlasting Love. They'll take down Nan as Akashi tries desperately to defend, but their target is definitely the core. They don't really have the minions. They do have the Lord, but Everlasting Love will be able to save this one for themselves. There's a Maniac and a Savage for Akashi. Nice little defense for Everlasting Love. Nice little consolation prize. Into the late game they go. I don't think we'll see a 15k goal lead anymore as Everlasting Love claws their way back into this game. Let's take a little replay to see what breaks down.
They want to get the record of ending a game in the fastest time. The game, of course, or rather the fight went off great, but what Absolute Zero wanted to do is with that great amount of lead that they have, they just want to take advantage of that and try to win the game all by itself. Especially when it comes down to Nun, right? It is so strong. He got so much farm. He can, of course, play according to the amount of lead that they have. There are, of course, many times that we always, kind of talk about players. You're playing like as though you don't have a lead at all. This time, Absolute Zero played as though they have a lead. But
well,
the lead that they think is 20k.
Well, this is a typical issue of like having trouble ending up and clearing out the game. As Absolute Zero actually a little bit too greedy for the throne. I think they could have gotten it, but they should have taken out Akashi first. But easier said than done, though. Everlasting Love, good defense from that initial base rush. Next 30 seconds until the Lord spawns up. What is the play for Everlasting Love to make their way back even more?
It's not gonna make any difference, though. I gotta have to be honest. Even though they yielded a free Savage over to Akashi, the goal lead is still bloody massive. We do have got 4 items that's already been built up coming from the side of Akashi. It's not too bad. Hunter Strike, the Maleficent Roar, the Sky Piercer, as well as the Sea Hound, but definitely some good old items. In fact, pretty much neck and neck together with the carry. But at this point in time, it's not really the carry that's a problem. It really is just coming down to the entire team plus the Lucas. 10,000 gold lead is on with this bad boy.
Now, this is where things get a little bit tricky for Absolute Zero. Lore going to be marching on the top side. They don't really have a lot of T3s on that top. I think Absolute Zero has to go back to basics, has to be a little more disciplined in how they play this one. Don't throw all your bodies, because Everlasting Love at any point can claw back their way through into this game again. As Fake QT slowly but surely is building up his defenses and getting Kakashi to just hammer that damage down. T1, Shambles, pull will be on the cannon minion. Buji deep into enemy territory with the Crimson Beacon as well. Will be able to pull Fake Cutie up, but taking a lot of damage for himself. Kashi will be hitting from the back line. Free hitting Icy Frost on the back line as well. Trying to target onto Buji, living with a sliver. Won't be able to survive as Icy Frost will go down. 5 members down, and Absolute Zero takes control of this game in dominating fashion.
That is a lot more of a we are gonna play with our 10k goal lead kind of play, right?
Yeah.
A lot more methodical and a lot more like, okay, we gotta deal with Akashi, then we deal with this one, we do this one instead of all guys play and let's just do whatever that we want kind of thing, right? That is that top lane push down that they wanted to do. It definitely seemed very possible, but Carry is not a sieging hero.
Yeah.
I think if they have like a Granger, for example.
Because the Speedy Light Wheels actually cuts your damage in half.
Exactly.
You do attack a lot faster, but it's just your damage is not there, especially for the turrets.
And if I'm not wrong, when it comes down to structures and turrets, they have a very different formula and a different kind of system because you don't deal true damage to the turrets. You don't deal. You're not really playing with the passive. So Carry, as compared to all the other marksmen, have the worst amount of damage that she can deal to turrets. And with your ultimate, halves your damage. And with all the defensive structures kind of thing, it probably just brings it down to even lower.
Yeah. I have to say, the stats doesn't really tell the whole story. Buji was drawing the attention to himself. That's why he's got 4 deaths. The easiest one to hypothetically take out. And at the end of the day, Buji single-handedly pulled the members of Everlasting Love away from the Lord and focused it on himself because they were too bloodlusty, too kill-hungry, that they want to take Buji down with them. But at the end of the day, man, it's all down to the turrets. 31 kills to 8 for Absolute Zero, and they are now 3 games into the Challenger stage.
Oh, is it 3 already?
3, yeah. 3
Oh, yeah, 3. So
3
now
wins,
it's
1
2
loss.
is to 1. Yeah,
Yes.
now it's 2 is to 1. So they just need to play one more
No,
game.
they're done in the Challenger stage. They're tied with King's Vanguard
3-1.
for the top. Yeah, 3-1.
Okay. Wait, they still have one more game.
Because
to go.
all the teams that came into the Challenger stage all have 1 win, 1 loss.
Oh.
So now, yeah, Everlasting Love is 1-2, same as Ignite 1-2.
Ignite is 1-2.
1 win, 2 loss.
Shouldn't they have a total of 4 games to play?
Yeah. So Absolute
it's still
Zero
one
already
more.
won. Yeah.
So
So
it's still
Absolute.
one more. Okay.
Not Absolute Zero. Ignite and Everlasting Love has 1 more game after this. Next one will be Evil versus Evil. You got me there. You got me there.
Yeah, they got you.
But
they got you.
Everlasting Love versus Sovereign in the next game.
Okay.
So honestly though, I think just hold your head up high, look towards the next game because it's gonna be the next BO1, and I think Sovereign might be a much more from learning from what they learned here, would be much easier for Everlasting Love to counter draft because I feel like Absolute Zero won out in the draft, won out in the execution, won out in every single aspect in this game. It was just so dominant from Absolute Zero. It was just absolutely perfect right from the start.
Absolutely.
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 Phenomenal.
So,
What was that?
hiccups. Okay, so I as much as I want to talk about statistics, this is not really a game that we're gonna have to talk too much about statistics or just kind of like dive right in. The draft is a problem, and that led to the execution being a problem.
Yeah.
There's realistically a lot of things that they can't do, and that all started from the middle lane. Like having an Alice in the middle lane is definitely very tough. We definitely seen that before in ranked games
Yeah.
when Alice was just was just buffed at a point in time.
Yeah.
We did see Alice in mid lane, but in the competitive scene, I it wouldn't work like that.
You know,
Definitely not.
this was just a stomp. No easier way to say it by Absolute Zero.
Hmm.
Looking to our next game is definitely what Everlasting Love needs to do this point.
Hmm.
They have some pocket picks. Nonetheless, Non as the Lucas as the
Screw off.
MVP. 12, 1, and 8 KDA.
That was good though.
That was good. That was pretty good.
With a full, almost full item build up with a total of 12,000 gold to his name. 12 is to 1 is to 8. His current scoreline would have been a perfect flawless victory without that random tower dive, trying to end the game. That was fun though. That was fun, but it didn't affect or it didn't do anything to the outcome of the game. So that is the most important part of that fight that was lost. So no problem.
Mhm.
Small thing, small problem. Still the MVP.
I feel like he could have bought the Sky Piercer to snowball even
Even
harder.
further.
Yeah. But then again, playing a little bit more defensively in a professional scene, you never know what would happen. Maybe Everlasting Love gets that Savage, comes back into the game, and then Absolute Zero just absolutely devastates themselves.
Yeah. I mean, it's I find it kind of tough to find a way to slot in a Sky Piercer onto Lucas, being the main two core items, being the
Counter
well
Strike, War
Counter Strike and
X.
the War Axe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you typically go defensive if you want to with the Thunderbelt and maybe even the Queen's Wings to give you a little bit more sustain. But then again, ultimately though, once you're that far ahead, you don't really care about defenses. You just kill them before they do any damage to you.
Exactly.